not wasting any time, and he has got a minute 13 to get home, so he is well ahead of the clock, even by going the long route at the staircase.
It is worth just saying, Ian, surely, that the man is always in that balance, that the horse is comfortable and able to use its wonderful athletic skill to the full advantage, both by galloping along and by jumping, and they take no more out of themselves, either horse or rider, wherever they're going.
Yeah, it is the sure way to save the energy in the horses, to keep them in a good rhythm. And he just never alters his rhythm. He's galloping easily, he's jumping brilliantly. Yeah, he's had the hiccup or two on the course, but it's looked so smooth and easy, the majority of it. And look at the time, one of the fastest we've had so far coming into the arena. And he took the long route. How brilliant is this combination?
Yes, we are privileged to be watching one of the best combinations we've seen in the sport for years and years, and could be ever. He's cruised around, he's maintained his position on 36. He was the overnight leader, and he will stay there. And of course, there's one phase left, the show jumping. Now, can this man close within a fence and still keep that challenge up, both for his second title and also for that Grand Slam? William, who won in 2004 with Tamarillo, but this could be a much more valuable win for William if he could do it.
Yeah, well, we're talking about rhythm, and there's no one better at keeping a rhythm. And what's incredible about William and his horses is he never looks as though he's in a hurry, and he's always there or thereabouts on the time. I mean, he made that look like child's play, and he just looks as though he's got all the time in the world. Never in a hurry.
Michael, well done. You went out there was pressure on you, you were the leader, hairy moment at the lake, all that steering.
Yeah, I think that's cross country. Not everything is perfect, but my horse did a really well job. After the mistake, he was directly concentrate and listen to me. What we do now, perfect. And he was so fresh. In the end, I do a little bit, and he go forward. He's amazing horse.
Well, is the balance of power in the sport changing? Michael Jung certainly making his attempt to do so as William comes to the Mirage Pond. Park Lane Hawk, not perhaps the neatest, but safe, and that's what matters. And looks to be moving easily within the clock. 570 meters a minute is the time allowed, or the time required, I should say, to get them home inside. We've been talking about it, about that rhythm and balance. That's the important aspect of this, and this man is a master at that.
Yeah, but we've heard about his finger, and he's got two reins on this horse. How is it affecting him? So far, it's not been an issue. The problem must be when he jumps, drops like that, and he's got to slip the fingers, the reins through the fingers, and then he's got to gather them up again. He's got to be quick, and if that finger isn't working properly, then it will have an effect. But like all great competitors, you can put the pain out of your head and you get on with the job.
Well, you know.
Into the arena in a second.
Been there, done that, yeah.
And the marathon. Silly man.
Let's move on to the horse here. Coming to the hollow. And again, ooh, good. William held him off that fence. He got a little close. The finger's working.
Certainly is. Clock looking reasonable. As Mark Todd and his second ride. Raven Star. New ride for him. Written recently by Irish jockey Jane Doherty, who is expecting a baby in the summer. So Toddy takes the ride. He's got a great catch ride record here. Didn't feature too well in the dressage. But how lucky New Zealand are to have two supreme horsemen as Todd and Nicholson still at their very best and helping the younger generation as well.
The table towards the end of the track for William. Huge jump there, and you can see the quality of this horse when he's galloping. He just opens up. And looking at the clock there, I would say he's in pretty good shape time-wise. And he's jumped the right-hand gate, and he's taking the long route. Well, he's obviously a bit concerned, having had that whoopsie on Oslo early on. He doesn't want to take another risk. He is up on the clock, so he's got to keep galloping just to make sure he makes it, but that's probably a very sensible move for William.
Coming down through the dip to the steps. And the great thing here is to be able to control what power you have. If you're tired, we've got to hold it together and push. If you've got too much, hold it, because the distance between the two steps, and he jumps a long way in, is tight, but beautifully acts. 1:33 to get home, and again, looks to be going well to be inside. The time of 11:13.
And Toddy at the farmyard. Poetry in motion.
4 times winner, and of course the reigning champion won that in 2011 with Land Vision. As we go back to William, Park Lane Hawk at the village.
Just getting a little strong there, and Williams having to keep a hold of him. He needs those 2 reins.
And the fingers too.
Needs all 10 of those.
And waiting in the wings, the other man who wants that Rolex Grand Slam and the 350,000 American dollars. When Pippa won it, it was 250,000 American dollars. It's gone up 100,000, and this man knows it and wants it, and this man wants it. 4 fences from home. Ears pricked. This New Zealand thoroughbred ex-racehorse looks absolutely superb, and he's wasting no time at all. He's not going to leave anything to chance. He's not going to be waving at the public and not getting the time. And what we have seen in Badminton 2013, dare I suggest, Ian, is more thoroughbreds beginning to take a part at the top level of the sport.
Well, I have to say I'm all in favour of that. You can't beat a good thoroughbred. When the sport changed all these years ago and we got rid of the steeplechase, there was talk about different types of horses, but back to thoroughbreds, and look at the time. Absolutely brilliant. Into 3rd place. He's knocking on the door for that Grand Slam. It's putting the pressure on Michael Young.
It is, because he is within a fence. He's closer to the optimum time. So, should Michael Young have a fence down and William jump clear, William would be ahead of Michael Young. But what can this man do? Wiggy, Andrew's partner, in the wings there, wishing him good luck. He's a man now more focused than ever, always wanting to improve and riding better than ever. You have to say he was unlucky in the games to finish in 4th place, just out of the medals individually. 1 team bronze, and they were thrilled with that. But this man is now riding better than he ever has. Nereo, owned by Deborah Seller, been a huge owner for Nicholas.
Well, that was better, wasn't it? Thank goodness for that. I mean, he just travelled and galloped and went so well. That's really lifted spirits. The finger didn't get in the way too much because he is quite strong. And I was, very aware that he could do the time. Very aware that Michael Young was going to canter around with his eyes shut, as he always does. So I thought, well, I need to cut it as fine as I can. I mean, you judge within reason, but you've got to be inside, because I knew that Andrew Nicholson is 0.2 behind me. So, there's no leeway there. I mean, what a fantastic sort of climax. For everyone watching, it's not so great for us.
Yes, the man is absolutely right. Andrew Nicholson, after the dressage, 0.2 of a penalty behind, and that is just nothing. Nereo, the horse that he won the individual bronze and the team bronze in the World Equestrian Games, and he was behind William on that occasion. As we're back with Toddy and Raven Star, fence 21.
Yeah, we're taking the favoured left-hand route. Just keeping the balance, a little trip there. Oh no! He had a beautiful line between those first 2 elements. There was a little stumble on landing over that first corner, and it just seemed to lose concentration. The horse slightly switched off on him.
Not been Toddy's badminton, but he is enthusiastic as ever now with a lovely new yard at Badgerstown near Swindon, the old former Stanmella yard, as Andrew Nicholson comes through Huntsman's Close.
Yeah, big jump there. Ooh, he catches that knee. We've seen one or two do that. We've actually seen a couple on the floor there by catching the left-hand knee at that angled log, but Andrew never moves.
Well, I wonder if the youngsters realise what they're watching and whether they'll be here having a crack at this world's greatest three-day event, the best-known three-day event in the world, and it's providing an absolute classic as Toddy finishes at 20 penalties at the marketplace. Is going to put him out, but the fans are here, huge crowd in the ring now for the final stages, and it does create such a great atmosphere as we see now the famous badminton house, the backdrop for all those years since 1949. And of course the present Duke of Beaufort rode round this course himself in his second here on the Great Horse Countryman all those years ago, but so enthusiastic about this particular competition. Now at the lake, Andrew Nicholson, Nurea.
And he's jumping in on the right, so he's going to go for the forest strides. He almost rode it for the balance. I think he knew that horse was going to do that. And how spectacular was it? And saving time.
Getting underway. Final start.
Such a strong position in the saddle. Gives the horse so much confidence. It's what it's all about. As away goes the landlady who has won the Rolex Grand Slam. That was back in 2003. Supreme Rock and Primrose Pride, the two horses that won her that pot of gold, now back with redesigned. This a horse that she jumped to prominence when she was in the British team for the World Equestrian Games in Kentucky, finished 5th, but has been difficult to train in the last 2 years, and comes here with a lack of match practice.
Yeah, he does, but you know, you couldn't have a better rider or more experienced rider on top to help him. And here we have Laura Collett and Noble Bestman at the marketplace, going on the right, and obviously about to take the longer route. She's had a good ride round on him and playing it safe.
And comes into the Swindon design out at Sunken Road.
Pippa Funnell, without doubt, one of the ladies of the sport, European champion twice, first in Le Moulin in 1999, on this big, very capable chestnut horse if he's at his best. 41.3 her dressage. If she could go clear inside the time, and that's what she means to do. If she can, she'll be taking on these folk. Andrew Nicholson, Nurea, New Zealand.
And Andrew in his now famous goggles. He was riding in his spectacles for a while. Very distinctive and totally focused. Little tap on the shoulder just to open up for that big fence. If they jump right-handed over that footbridge, there is the risk of landing in the vicarage ditch, and it is a very smelly ditch, isn't it, Mr. Tucker?
I do remember. Andrew Nicholson, he remember on a score of 40.2, still out on course. Michael Young, home, 36, can't be beaten. 39.7, Jock Paget will be second overnight before show jumping. William Fox pit home, on a fence, exactly on a fence, with a better optimum time than Michael Young. Now where can Andrew get? If he goes clear, he will be fourth, 4.2 behind the leader. And he's flying and flying easily.
And he takes the tightest line, turning into that beam. He was almost under the tree. Up at Huntsman's Close, he nearly knocked the noses off the spectators. He shaves every second off the course he can.
And a dog, if you remember.
They take that with them and wouldn't even notice.
Well, now Laura Collett coming home, part of the world-class performance, lottery-funded World Championship riders, and she's at the last. That lottery funding has been so crucial for the sport, and certainly one of the future stars, Laura Collett, competing with Noble Bestman, her one ride, but going to be down the line in her second badminton rides.
Well, Pippa a redesign at the lake. It's great to see Pippa at this level, and it's such a fabulous horse. She has had the slight issues with the soundness, but he's in great form. He did a brilliant dressage test. He's looking good at the lake.
Owned by Roger and Denise Lincoln, who owned her other great, one of her other great rides, Primrose Pride. Owners so important as Nereo comes to the marketplace. Here's a key fence for Andrew Nicholson. Has he got the line? Yes, he has. No problem at all.
Hard for the first, second element,
And there's no one who knows how important owners are to them in this sport. And Deborah Seller, the owner of this Spanish-bred horse, this one bred by Ramon Becker. Andrew's had a lot of horses from Spain, very good ones too, and this is certainly one of the best. Ramon's daughter Anna also bred the very good horse Quimbo that Deborah owns, that won in Kentucky. Now the steps. Just a slight little peck, but again, absolutely foot perfect, really.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right. Andy just gets better and better with the years of experience. Pippa's at the Mirage Pond, and as good as anyone through there. The last horse on the course, and she looks very classy.
She a protege of the great Ruth McClellan, who was a pupil in turn of the great Eddie Goldman. It's a dynasty which has provided great coaches and great riders. Andrew Nicholson now, been here since 1980, came over to groom for Todd, and then became a big star in his own right. World's #1 ranked at the moment, and he now is 500 metres from home, and it's looking good on the clock.
I think he's looking very impressive on the clock. But no one has better judgment on time and speed across the country than Andrew. But we have been witnessing some incredible riding today at Badminton, the absolute top of the game, and the riders have not disappointed us in any way.
No, one has to say too, Ian, as Andrew comes towards home with just a Pippa out on the course. Hugh Thomas, the course designer, has done a very good job. Lots of little mistakes all around this course. It's, for a world-class field, not easy to do. Many people thought it wasn't perhaps quite the biggest badminton they've ever seen, but it still provided the greatest competition, and that's what matters. Here's another piece of Nicholson judgment that'll be in the classics. Beautifully home, 7 seconds, and so stays on his dressage to go fourth. 4 of them with 4.2 covering the top 4. Could be drama tomorrow in the show jumping.
And the staircase for Pippa. Good jump up. Oh no! He just wasn't looking. Now is that just a result of lack of match practice, a little bit of needing the outing, but he certainly jumped the steps as well as anyone. She gets a good spot, he jumps up, his head's a little high, and he's just not really focused on it. A little bit like Zara at the lake.
So disappointing. She was so looking forward to a good ride.
He's superb to ride. He pulled very hard the first 4 minutes, which he doesn't normally, but I just think he got wound up with William finishing and the crowd, quite rightly, making a good racket. Didn't help me, but he still jumps well, and it just probably made me huff and puff a bit more than I should do.
3 horses ahead of you in the show jumping. What realistically do you think?
1 more day left. Where was I after the dressage? 6th? I'm confident. I have to be, don't I? No, I've moved up to first. Last season in Poe, 2 of the ones and riders in front of me were in front of me that day. Burley, we'll see what happens.
Well, there's many of this huge crowd who would love to have seen this lady in the mix, but it's not to be. But very definitely Pippa Funnell and redesigned her back. The European Championships are in Malmo this autumn, and will this combination be part of the British team there? And at the moment, only one British competitor in the top 10, and you have to sort of wonder how the power balance is changing. as Pippa comes to the last. Don't think she's quite going to get home, but that isn't surprising, having had that unfortunate glance off at the steps. But certainly a performance to look forward to for the British team. Pippa Funnell then, 62.5.
A look of disappointment from Pippa, but in total we had 23 horses clear inside the time, and it is a very international leaderboard. Michael Jung for Germany out in front, staying on his dressage score, is ahead of Jock Paget for New Zealand. William Fox-Pitt needs a mistake from both of them, and so does Andrew Nicholson. And you join us now live at Badminton. A scorching hot day for the show jumping. Pippa Funnell alongside me. We just saw her cross country round. Sadly, that stop put you out of contention. You've already show jumped, and just not your competition this year.
Not my competition, but it's been quite a task getting the horse here. I really wanted to bring him here, and I had a fantastic ride yesterday, but he's not had many runs in the last 2 years, and he was great. But, you know, when it's not going your way, it's not going your way.
As far as the competition is concerned, there's a real buzz around here because it's very tight at the top.
Well, it always was going to be a clash of the Titans, and I mean, what better way? We all came here expecting it to be between Young, Nicholson and Fox-Pitt, and that's what it is, a battle. But we mustn't forget Jock, who's lying second as well.
Jock Paget, that is. As that graphic said, you are the Grand Slam winner from 2003, the only person so far to have done it. Now, do you think that William Fox-Pitt in third and Andrew Nicholson in fourth are too far off the pace, or could they still do it?
I think they still could do it. I mean, one thing's for sure, either one, if they were to do it, they're two of the top horsemen in the world, and I think, you know, what we'll have to see, but I think it does come down to Young, and they'll certainly be going in with a little less pressure because they've got to win it. It's not as if they're saving that position. They're not in the lead, so they've got to put the pressure on Michael.
Well, as far as Michael Jung is concerned, if he does win, he'd be the first German to win here at Badminton, and he may look back on this moment at the Lake as the time when it could have either gone horribly wrong, or this bit of riding is what wins him the title. I mean, it's extraordinary.
I mean, this is what cross-country riding is all about. I mean, he looks so immaculate so much of the time, but cross-country is about that element, and you saw there the skill he uses to get the horse back balanced, having left a leg, and he gets hold of the reins, and then he gives it its freedom, and he never budges, and that is a real sign of a great horseman. It's when things go wrong, how quick you react, and he reacted really quickly there.
Well, Andrew Nicholson obviously putting the pressure on. You heard his interview there that he says even though that he's got three riders between him and the lead position, he says, I'm feeling confident. He's actually got two horses in the top 10, and Avebury has already show jumped out of order to give him plenty of time to warm up Nerea. We can have a look at him because he had one fence down the first part of the double here. In fact, both bits of that parallel went, and then a bit slow on time as well, Pippa.
The time you do have to keep plugging on. I mean, you have to keep quite tight round the corners, and you do have to remember that, you know, so much comes, and we've seen a few get silly little time for. So you've got to keep moving, which is easier said than done when you've got so much pressure heaped on you, and you've got to leave the fences up.
They are saying that this is one of the toughest show jumping courses ever built at Badminton, and it makes it so hard for horses that obviously have been cross country yesterday, those that have gone quick on fast ground. And just to remind you of how it works in show jumping in terms of faults: 4 for knocking down an obstacle, 4 for a refusal. You're eliminated if you have a second refusal, and the time, as Pippa says, the time is tight. Every second or part of a second over the time of 86 seconds, and you pick up another penalty point. That could end up being absolutely crucial. And it always, Pippa, and you found it this morning, it is difficult. We're seeing Ingrid Klimke coming into the round now. She's one of 3 Germans in the top 10. It is difficult to jump clear in the third phase of a 3-day event.
Well, I think particularly, I mean, it depends what you're sat on, but also the ground yesterday, you know, encouraged the horses to run quick, so some of them are feeling tired, and they're always, you know, the last day just depends how they come out, and we've seen some horses jump some super rounds. My horse definitely, you know, is lacking match practice, and I think he was a bit body weary, but, you know, I think those top guys will still be doing a pretty good job.
Well, Ingrid Klimke was so bubbly yesterday after her cross-country run. She's already had one down here on Abraxas. Let's join Ian Stark and Mike Tucker.
Yes, one down. This is not her strong phase. Ingrid Klimke, Abraxas now on 49. She's already dropped down 2 places. It's all so close here. Abraxas that was in 9th place. So it's already costly. Show jumping is so important these days, Ian.
It certainly is, and it's a question of which fence is. That's the first fence that Ingrid's jumped that the horse hasn't rattled. Only one down, 3 jumps to go. But it has been expensive in the past this round for her. The final fence.
Oh, and that one is even more costly. She didn't actually jump in the final individual in London because she had such disappointments in the past. And again, she's been second here before, but it's 2 down, 8 to add. And 8 to add means she finishes on 53.
Yeah, coming to the last, he should have jumped it, but drifted a little bit left and just kicked it out. But actually, for him, 2 down is not a bad round.
Capacity audience absolutely gripped by this final session of this Mitsubishi Motors Championship, that wonderful trophy. And now the turn of Sam Grimmis. Australia, one been 3rd and 4th in the with this very good last times, comes in on horse hand point 9.44 incidentally, and in on Doria she jumped a clear round on Pennies, and Burrows leading at
times. Brilliant ride cross country yesterday, so quite a nice introduction. Quite a vertical, the first fence, quite upright, and then to big wide oxer, double back to those planks, and then a slightly downhill slope, 6 strides to the double. And that's a temptation. Running down the hill, they get a little bit free. We saw Avebury have that fence down.
Victoria Panazon has gone down, or gone up, I should say, another place.
And her horse was about a foot above every jump in the ring. Ooh, another rattle there. So much pressure in this phase when you're up there with the leaders and challenging for a good placing. And the time is tight. 86 seconds allowed. You've just got to keep going and keep travelling. With a horse that's not always the most careful, you want to take your time and get the striding absolutely spot on and help the horse, but if you do that, you rattle, rattle, rattle. You suffer the time penalties.
Jumps the last. It's 8 to add. 8 to add puts him on a 52.9. He drops down 15 places. It's that expensive. So down in the ring with all the exciting action building that is Clam.
It was so interesting being backstage and watching these top riders warming up. Andrew Nicholson there on the chestnut Nerio. William Foxpitt away in the distance. You see his great long tall back, and he's on Park Lane Hawk. And Pippa, what did you say to William? He's a great friend of yours, a teammate for many years.
Well, I just said to him earlier, I said what I thought when I did it is what will be, what's meant to be. So he's just got to get out there and yeah, I feel it's down to fate. He's either meant to win it or he's not, and that's what I said to him.
And he's very calm, he's very phlegmatic, he seems very laid back. Andrew Nicholson likes to wind everybody up. He likes to let them feel the tension. He thrives on it.
Well, he does, and there's, you know, it's known in the eventing world that they're great rivals, the two of them.
It will be very interesting to see what will unfold. Let's join the action again live and get back into the show jumping arena.
Well, it's Italy, and it's 38-year-old Stefano Bracciaroli, Apollo Evander, Wendy Kurtahova. A real sensation yesterday, a totally different combination, just 6 time penalties. He's been a little slow in the past, and he's currently lying 6 after the cross country yesterday, 42.8. He did in fact, of course, lie in 2nd place behind Michael Jung after the dressage. And incidentally, I was mentioning about Vittoria Panos and how she's been climbing. She represents Italy, of course. Well, not only Vittoria, because Aoife Clark too. She, for Ireland, just had 1 time fault, and she has come up 14 places as well. They, at the moment, 1st and 2nd with these 6 to jump. Italy now.
Well, an enormous amount of pressure on Stefano, but He was so impressive yesterday. As the horse kept enough spring left in those legs, and he certainly looked it over that big wide oxer.
Two questions here, Ian. He's more than one fence but less than two behind the leader. A clear round will put the pressure on those above him, but he can't afford to have a fence down. One fence will certainly put him down at least one place. 46.8. Actually, he stays where he is, but another one will drop him down then 4 places.
Yeah, the horse is jumping really well. I was surprised that he dropped on the back bar, but it is over a water ditch, so he may just have had a little look. But hopefully that kept the horse sharp. It's getting a little wild. Wonder if Andrew's been at him to keep up the speed in the show jumping as well, because he's not hanging around in there.
I have no doubt that Andrew has certainly been warming him up despite his own round to come. He's lucky in this very tight finish. He stays in 6th place with 1 down, but here is a combination we're going to see a lot more of in the top of world eventing. The Duchess of Cornwall, one of those enjoying the final dramatic stages of this show jumping phase for Badminton 2013.
And Stefano's trying everything here. His legs are up in there. He's jumping himself up into there. Watch him here. Gets quite high with his legs. But the horse is trying. It's a disappointing 1 down, but I should think he'll be very happy with this result.
No doubt at all. Italy looking a much stronger nation in the world of eventing after badminton this year than they were before. And here's now one for Germany that again is going to see them very high up the leaderboards in the future. It's the young German Sandra Ofath, Olympic bronze medalist on this lovely horse, Opgun Luvo. Real quality, powerful horse. Got 1.2 time penalties yesterday, but close to the time. But she was a show jumper before she took up eventing to really hit the high spots. 42.5 her current score, just 6.5 behind team colleague Michael Jung in that Olympic gold medal. But she actually, 1 fence down would put her just ahead of Stefano Brecciarelli.
He's a very good jumper. Sometimes you could see him yesterday getting a little low in the outline with his head dropping down, but he's very, very neat in the front legs. Always makes a nice shape over a fence. And a huge jump in there, made that 1 stride quite short, and you could see the horse drifted a little bit left to try and give himself more room so he didn't touch the fence. Sandra's riding this horse with a lot of trust. She knows him well, she knows he's careful. She's just allowing him to get on with his job.
The last 3 fences. Just the last. 46.8 current leader. This could change that, and does. A very, very convincing clear round from the young German, 24 years old, Sandra Ofath. So 42.5, and down in the collecting arena as she takes the applause is Claire with Stefano Brecciarelli.
Stefano with me, you're going to finish 6th or better. How good does that feel?
It's amazing for me. It's the first badminton. It's very exciting. The pressure is very high. I know I come here with a very good horse. I'm very polite to ride this horse, but I want to do the best job for him and me, because we work hard for arrive here.
And you'll be heading, I suspect, to the European Championships this summer for Italy?
Yeah, I hope, why not? Now we finished here, and now he's just coming, my friend. Andrew Nicholson is in, and we see what we finish. I hope for him now we can finish with a good with our team.
Stefano, a great friend of Andrew Nicholson's, and Andrew's been helping you with the speed cross country, so he'll be here supporting him.
Yeah.
Yes, and now you're really fasten your safety belts into the top 4, the first of the 2 going for the Rolex Grand Slam. Andrew would have to jump clear, and the rest have got to make mistakes if Andrew's going to win that 350,000 American dollars, that pot of gold. He's currently lying 4th, just 4.2 penalties behind the Olympic champion, current leader. That, of course, Michael Jung and Sam. Andrew Nicholson on the very good horse Nereo, owned by Deborah Seller. He's never won this competition, and of course he won the 4-star America in Kentucky just last weekend on a young horse called Quimbo. Could he win 2 in a week?
I have to say, Mike, I'm feeling quite sick sitting here just watching these guys, the pressure that they're under. Someone's going to be happy at the end of the day, and then there'll be 3 slightly disappointed, but it's certainly great viewing.
It's a combination that has got better and better in this phase. Dare I say it, he jumped very well to win the individual bronze in Kentucky at the World Equestrian Games, 2010 that was. And then so nearly won an individual medal in London.
Well, Andrew's doing everything he can to help this horse. He's got a very big, rangy stride for the show jumping, and you can see him fighting Andrew, wanting to get going and lengthen. Andrew's got to try and keep the pace up, but keep the stride short enough that the horse stays athletic and gets up in the air.
Turns for home. Remember, we're going for a badminton victory for the first time. We're going for the Rolex Grand Slam. He could still be in it if he jumps this, and he does! It's game on! He puts the pressure on. The Kiwi stays on 40.2, and we've got 3 left to jump here this afternoon. He is imperious. Yes. Get the noise levels up. Give the others a bit more pressure. This is tactics. This is tactics. He is a great favourite. Yes, and the next one is William Fox Pitt. Yeah. Oh my word! There is a little competition going on here.
Is that friendly rivalry or a bit of, or what? But that does put enormous pressure on the rest. Wow, what a competition. Andrew was confident when he was interviewed, and he's sort of put his money where his mouth is, really.
The crowd settled down, and this man normally as cool as a cucumber, but I bet the butterflies are flying around in there.
He wouldn't be normal, he wouldn't be human if they weren't going.
He couldn't be. Park Lane Hawk, owned by Catherine Witt. Wow, we've had one of the challenges for that Rolex Grand Slam, now the second. He, remember, is exactly 4 penalties behind the leader, currently in 3rd place, William, with Park Lane Hawk. 4 behind, if he was lucky enough to jump clear. And the first 2 had penalties down. If Michael Jung had a fence down, William would go ahead of Michael Jung simply because he was closer to the optimum time. Hold your breath, cross your fingers. He's on his way. William Fox Pitt, Park Lane Hawk.
It's interesting, William came in off the left rein. It's quite close to the side of the arena, but it keeps your horse nice and short for that first fence, which is a vertical. So he'll have all this planned out in his head.
He was second behind Andrew Nicholson at Rolex Kentucky last weekend on Sea Cookie. Can he get in front of him here.
Well, he certainly was getting up in there, wasn't he?
Shh. Rotten man.
They can't hear me, Mike. It's all right.
Now we need to watch the clock a little here. Oh, it's gone! It's all over for William, but it's still on for Andrew. Oh. Now, he's on that score of 44. He goes behind Andrew Nicholson, behind Sandra Ofath. Goes down 2 places at the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting, the horse gives so many of the fences so much room and then just has the odd clonk.
2 left. Just the last. Jumps that, but it's 4 false. He's inside the time. 44. So at the moment, he is behind both Nereo and Okgunluvo, Andrew Nicholson and Sandra Ofath.
Yeah, big jump in.
So here's the fence, and there it goes. And here is the reaction from Andrew Nicholson. Yes, that jaw goes out, and Andrew Nicholson is it with Claire.
It could still happen. He needs Jock Paget and Michael Jung to make mistakes, but you could still win the Grand Slam.
We're moving up, 2 more to go. Might not sound very sporting, but I hope Jock has one down and Michael has 2. Simple as that.
How much pressure did you feel going in there?
The same sort of pressure I'd normally feel at this level, being up in the air with it all so close. It's the Grand Slam bit hasn't been on my mind when I've gone in the ring. It's just jumped clear around, and with a horse like Nereo, I have an awful lot of faith in him. He's pulled it out of the bag quite a few times before when I needed it. So.
Right, we have to watch and see what happens. So do you.
Thanks.
So, the man in second place, fellow colleague, Jock Paget, Clifton Promise, 39.7. 1 fence down for him. Will put him behind Andrew, but it's got to be 2 for Michael Jung. Or 1 and a couple of time faults.
Exactly, yeah.
This man still young in years, but great in talent, and they really have got a great partnership.
Yeah, just to be in the same breath as some of these top riders, experienced top riders, Jock Paget must be very happy to be there.
Yes, and one of the things that New Zealand have done, have taken on Luis Severa, the world-class Spanish international show jumping rider, great coach, and he's done wonders for the Kiwis, and he'll be watching somewhere out there. He is a really good man. The New Zealanders now have got a management second to none's.
But he hasn't got many to go. The horses, dare I say, giving him a lot.
Remember, this man or the next man can spoil the Grand Slam party. 1 left. He'll be putting the pressure on Michael Jung. It is. He's never won here. 39.7. Jock Paget and Clifton Promise go on to 39.7, their dressage score, and they now become the challengers to Michael Jung. So, Claire down in the collecting. I bet it's warming up down there.
Do you know, it's absolutely silent down here, so quiet and far away from the noise of the arena. Michael Jung has just been putting Sam through his final practice fences, and he knows that he could become the first German ever to win badminton and complete an unprecedented set of titles. He is without doubt the most successful rider in the world at this moment in time. European, world and Olympic champion. Could he now win badminton? If he jumps clear, he will.
On the left, the baseball cap of Michael's dad, Joachim. He is the trainer, very focused. Although he is very much a German team man, they train very much on their own. They know what's got to be done, and they certainly have done it in their short career in the sport. Remember, he is the only man ever to win, or indeed lady, to win the Olympic, the World and the European, to hold them all at the same time. So there's the target, 39.7, which means Michael Jung has got to jump clear, and he is a man who can certainly soak up the pressure. Every blade of grass that this man and Sam covers in the next 86, 85 seconds, they will have planned. That's the detail they go down to. Clear round, and he becomes, as Claire says, the first German to win the Mitsubishi Motors badminton title.
Well, I think the claim is that Sam's never had a pole down, but he did at London have a good rub in the first round, so anything is possible, but there'll be, as you say, nothing left to chance in the preparation for this. And Michael has done so much Grand Prix show jumping. The size of the fences are nothing to him, but it's all a question of how much did yesterday's cross-country take out of Sam.
And Ian, for all those watching with us and around, we are watching a man that is changing the sport, raising the bar just in a super way. He is such class.
Well, he's won all these championships. If he wins here and he's only 30 years of age, where does he go next?
Well, he could do dressage, he could do show jumping, but he loves this sport. Down the final line. Just the last. Hardly touched a fence. And he's done. Oh, it's gone! It's gone! The very last fence! And Chris Bartle is just alongside, talking to Michael's mum, and she can hardly believe it. And it's John Paget that is the badminton winner for 2013. And the Olympic champion has been beaten in the very last fence that he jumps. Quite a surprise. And there is the winner, the young man from New Zealand, Jock Paget and Clifton Promise.
The New Zealanders celebrate delayed reaction here because that last fence took so long to fall, and Jock Paget had no idea. He heard the cheer, then the gasp, and then everybody crowded round him and said, "Well done, you have won badminton."
I have. I needed a little bit of time to come to grips with it. I think it was something else.
Your first time here, when you came into the competition, what were you expecting?
I didn't think I would win, but I thought I could win. Thank you, Mr. Young.
And Michael Jung comes to offer his congratulations. Michael, such a shame for you, because honestly you were jumping to perfection and it took so long to fall that pole.
Yeah, it was a very good round, and I'm very happy about my horse. I think I was a little bit too much forward. I need a little bit more control, but he jumped well, and I'm very happy about my first time here. Thank you.
Well, it was a very good debut for Michael Jung, but an even better one for Jock Paget, who's a year younger than Michael. He's only 29. He's receiving hugs all round. He was barely able to say anything. He says it's going to have to take a while to sink in. But as we confirm the result, Jock Paget is our winner of the Mitsubishi Motors Trophy. Second is Michael Jung, and in third place, Andrew Nicholson. An incredibly thrilling finale to this extraordinary three-day event. The final of the World Masters Snooker is coming up next, but this man, Jock Paget, has been successful here for New Zealand.
Yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan and
prices. And then we bought everything.
From Victoria Place.